Throughout all these stories, you've been hearing case studies of children that I've taught. There are literally thousands. I've selected a few to share. One of my biggest memories is of a young boy by the age of 9. Peter was always getting himself into affairs he needn't not be in. I could see that before he came into my classroom, he wasn't used to following instructions. But I used what I would call my superpower called compassion. There was something about him that I knew he was capable of. And so I gave him every opportunity and I started to model. I modeled expectations that I was looking for. He was always eager to try it, which was excellent to see. One of the things that I remember most about him was coming to parents' evening. He was so concerned about his dad. He said, "Miss, what are you going to tell my dad? Because I've been in trouble before, miss, and I don't want to be in trouble again, miss." And I would smile and say, "Well, what do you think I'm going to say?" And he would say, "I'm not sure." And I started to point to his work around the classroom that he had achieved. All the sculptures that he'd created, all the drawings that he had made, all the speeches he had given, the writing in his book, the neatness on his table. And we went through a whole list of things and he began to smile at the end of that conversation, a smile as big as the moon. I can see it now. What really surprised me is when we got to parents' evening and I could see a rather large gentleman marching towards me. As I welcomed him to the classroom and I pointed to a chair for him to sit on and we began to talk, he abruptly asked, "So what has he done wrong now?" I asked him to repeat the question. I was struggling with whom I was speaking to. He said, "Am I speaking to the right parent?" And he said, "Oh, what do you mean?" He looked rather nervous and I was rather relaxed. And he pointed, of course, to his son. And I placed my pen on the table and I tucked my chair under the table and I looked at him square in the eyes and I said, "Your son is one of the best behaved children in the classroom. His writing is exceptional, his reading has developed, his artistry skills are excellent." And the more I said and relayed all of his capabilities, the more the dad sat back in the chair looking amazingly surprised. In the end, we both smiled at each other and I asked him why he expected anything less. And he stuttered and said, "Well, I don't really know. I just always hear that he's getting into stuff in the past." And I said, "No, you've got a wonderful son who works extremely hard. Because I have an expectation that he will do extremely well." And he does. And for the rest of that conversation, we went into detail about all of his son's talents and abilities. And we worked collaboratively, both parent and teacher, talking about all the skills he had. He says, "Well, actually, I'm a mechanic. And I noticed that he's really good at remembering what tools are for and how to use them. He helps me at home." And I shared, he helps me at school as well. We went through a list of things that he was good at, all the skills. "He's a good communicator," I stated. His dad went on to say, "I think he's also a good collaborator." I agreed. And I stated, He's a good listener. His dad said, he's definitely a good listener, because when I lost my job, he comforted me and assured me I'd get another one shortly. By the time we finished a very long parent meeting, everyone left the room with a big smile on their face. His son turned around and looked at me and said, "Thank you, miss. Thank you."